The first healing and deliverance service I attended in Area 1, I had an encounter, which I think she's the only one I ever told.
Wow.
I had an encounter. I remember I walked into that service that day while the worship was going on. I don't know who did it. I don't know where it came from, but I think I fell into a trance. And I saw a hand give me a tall glass of cool water. And inside that tall glass of water, there was a celery stick and a carrot stick. And I heard the voice clearly say, drink. And I drank it. I think that's where my refreshing started.
In the midst of the services, too many things are happening. We now have the privilege of hearing everybody's encounter.
That was my very first encounter.
And I'm sure that's why the senior pastor is always deliberate about asking if you have an encounter, come and share. And people, you see them come out in droves telling what things they saw. You can't hear everything. We are just hearing this for the first time.
Yes. My very first encounter, the very first healing and deliverance services I attended live at the Area 1.
All right. On that day, you also, I mean, on the 25th now of October, you told us how that your daughter led you to meet God's handmaiden.
No, she wasn't the one that led me.
Okay.
It was God that orchestrated my footsteps.
Really?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Now, what happened was I wanted to see Mommy. So I went home and I prayed about it.
Okay.
Then I had this beautiful lace I wanted to make. And they ministered to me to go give her a gift. And it was the best thing I had. So I packaged it. And I went to Area 1. And I went up and I saw Mr. Charles.
That's her secretary.
Her secretary. And he was like, what do you want? I said, I have a gift for Mommy. He said, you do? I said, yes. He said, okay, I'll give you an appointment. And that was it. It was so easy for me because I don't know. And so he gave me, that was on a Wednesday. So he gave me an appointment for the next Friday. And that's how I met her. So I came the next Friday and he ushered me into our office in Area 1. And I'd never met somebody like Mommy. I'm going to say this with due respect to every other person. If you don't like it, you can edit it. But I'm going to say this. All my life, I got born again quite early. So all my life, I'll say I've been in church. But you see, I had this experience that when you go to church, you give. You don't get from the church. But the first time I met the woman of God, she gave me so much. I started crying. She said, I'm going to, because I gave her the gift. She was like, oh, you brought me.
And she gave you something in return.
You brought me a gift. I said, yes. She didn't give me something. She got a bag and started packing things. I know I got a Gucci perfume. I got all manner of things.
That means I'll look for mine too. And then I'll go get her a gift right away.
I guess your grace is not like mine. She was so, I'd never had that experience. So I started crying in her office. I think I actually finished her pack of tissues because I couldn't stop crying.
You broke down.
I did. She broke me down.
Oh.
I'm actually almost crying now. So when I couldn't stop crying, she said, would you like to see Daddy? And I said, yes, Mommy. And she said, okay, let's go. In Area 1, Daddy's office is the next floor. Yes. So she took me to Daddy's office. And Daddy doesn't really talk much. I didn't really tell him anything.
He believes in action.
Yes, I didn't tell Daddy anything. And I'll say this, please, let me be very specific about this. When I saw Mommy, I didn't tell her about my diabetic condition. I just told her that I wanted to see her. I didn't. I just told her, we spoke, we talked about other things, but I never told her about my diabetic condition. So
maybe that wasn't really pressing, as it were.
I was getting used to it. I was already taking my insulin.
Amen. Getting used to the pains, getting used to the prickings, getting used to the drugs, getting used to every emotional thing that goes with it.
As far as I was concerned, it was for life. So it wasn't something to talk about.
So you had almost even believed what the endocrinologist told you?
Yes, I did.
But was there any time you thought about the possibilities of divine healing?
No, I didn't until I came here.
Beautiful. She didn't think about the possibilities of divine healing until she got to Dunamis. This is Testifier's time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this time out.
Welcome to Kenya Healing and Deliverance Crusade, happening live at the Nyayo Stadium. Karibuni!
Somebody is about to tell the devil this morning, hold your peace. Jesus is going to give me an encounter. I don't know if that person is here today.
For 4 years.
4 years of hernia. Where was the hernia? Right there, it's gone.
Checking it, it is nowhere to be found.
Yes. 15 years spine.
Yes, sir.
Hey!
Our sister said she was diagnosed to have fibroid for over 2 years now.
Yes.
Right now it is gone. She can't feel the pain. She can't feel the
Are you sitting looking like that? Give me the praise. Yes, what happened here?
Hernia for 5 years disappeared tonight.
Lumbar spondylosis.
sir. Scheduled for operation.
Somebody give the Lord a praise.
Disc prolapse.
Disc prolapse.
5 years. Barely walk, barely bend.
Disc prolapse should have made her to be on a wheelchair.
As that word was declared, the pains disappeared and she can do what she couldn't do.
Do everything you couldn't do before. He was born with a growth. Are you just sitting like that? Everything that was born with you that is negative is arrested tonight. Congratulations, man. In the name of Jesus, I will decree tonight, light be in Nairobi, all over Kenya. Light has come in the name of Jesus. And right now I anoint this ground in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
Welcome back, viewers at home. This is Testifiers time. We have in the studio today with us one of our beloved sister and mommies, Barrister Obio Koye, was an amazing testimony of God's healing. They called it type 2 diabetes. Doctors had told her that, you've got to live with this for the rest of your life. The best we can have you do is manage it with insulin, maybe also watch what you eat.
Yeah.
And then she has had to admit that and live a normal life until when God says it's up. Now, before we went on the break, you said you had met God's handmaiden who broke you down in her office, according to you, and then you cried in her office. And then she offered to take you to God's servant.
Yes.
Would you mind meeting Daddy? Yes. And I'm sure it was an offer you gladly jumped at.
I jumped at it.
Okay, so what happened after then?
So she took me upstairs to Daddy's office.
Right.
Now, I walked into Daddy's office and I didn't tell Daddy anything. Daddy just said, kneel down. I knelt down. He took a bottle of oil. He poured it on my head and said, whatever is this personality that wants to kill you, I kill it.
Take it again.
I said, I walked into Daddy's office with Mommy.
I mean what he said.
Yes. Daddy said, kneel down. I knelt down. He took a bottle of oil, poured it on my head, and then said, whatever is this personality that wants to kill you, I kill it.
You hadn't talked to mommy about
Nothing.
the condition. You
Nothing.
didn't tell daddy about anything.
Nothing.
You didn't tell him about the encounter you had in Leicester.
Nothing.
No, you didn't tell him anything.
Nothing. I just met them
for the first time. Now, this was the first encounter
Yes.
you had with them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember I sprawled on the floor, shaking all manner of shakes. And then when I recovered, I got up. And then mommy helped me out to the reception, said, when you're okay, you can go. I think that was the beginning of the journey. The journey to healing. Then I hadn't actually totally moved to Abuja.
Abuja.
Yes.
Okay.
I completely moved to Abuja in 2018.
Okay.
And when I moved to Abuja, I had started maturity,
foundation class.
everything.
That's the process of being planted now in the ministry.
And I also made sure that I went through DUSOM.
Okay.
I went through
The
DUSOM.
Dynamic School of Ministry.
Yes, the first year.
So everything that can be collected, and let me just get myself.
Yes, I had seen a ray of sunlight, and I was desperate to get everything.
But were you into active practice?
Yes, before I came to Abuja.
Abuja, okay. 2018 now you are in Abuja.
Yes.
And then you enrolled in all these that you had mentioned.
I joined the department, I joined the home cell.
So at what point did you begin to notice changes?
Yes. Let's say about 2019.
Okay.
Because as at that 2018, my blood sugar was so rise so high, even upon the medication. So about 2019, I had another endo prescribe a change of my insulin medication because it appeared like the other one wasn't
responding,
wasn't working. Yes. So I changed my insulin medication, but the same thing was going on. So I just kept coming, just kept taking my medications. Like I said, I was already living with it. So it wasn't like it wasn't a major deal for me anymore. But then I suddenly noticed that about that 2019 thereabout, my sugar started crashing. So my endo reduced the number of times. When he changed the insulin, he reduced the number of times.
The frequency of administration.
Perfect word. He reduced the frequency of administration. Even at that point, I didn't realize I was getting better because I was still on insulin. But it was an indication that I was getting better. Then from 4 shots a day, I went to 2 shots.
50%?
Yes. From 2 shots a day, I had to go down to 1.
25%?
Yes, because now when I take my insulin shot, my sugar will crash so much. I have to eat something sweet
to push it up again.
It
okay, that means that meant that you were now, instead of the hyperglycemia, it's becoming hypoglycemia.
Yes. Instead
of the excess pool of sugar in the blood, now there's deficiency of sugar. So you need to do something to augment the quantity. To, some people can from hypo just slip into coma because the cells are starved.
That's what they told me.
Good.
That's what they told me.
So it tapered from 4 shots to 2 shots, then 1 shot.
Yes, because I kept complaining and I didn't realize there was healing going on.
That's right.
I actually didn't realize.
And the pancreas, the pancreatic function was being restored. That's what it means.
That's what it means. The pancreas that were dead.
Yes, they were dead.
Were kicking back to life. Kicking back to life.
Amazing.
So I would always complain that maybe I need to reduce the meals, my insulin meals, because I will always crash. At that point, I always had to have a bottle of Fanta in my fridge, so that once it crashes, I'll have to
take the
something
Fanta
sweet
so
to bring it up.
Boost it.
I'll let you know that was also a terrible experience for me, because it's like up, down, up, down, zigzag.
Undulating.
Yes, it was horrible. Now I'm up, then I'm crashed, then I have to take something to bring myself up, And if I overtake it, it goes up again.
Up again, then you look for what to bring it down. I understand.
So it wasn't a happy time either for me. But then we kept working at it until it went down to 1 shot of insulin.
I mean, that's a lot of relief, don't you think so?
Yeah.
Instead of 4 pricks in a day or 8 pricks, like you said, you've just got to do that once.
And then even the one so crashed me that I would have to fight to bring my sugar
it
up. Yes. So I stopped.
So when you stopped, you went back to the doctor? He checked you?
Now I have my testers.
Yeah, so you check yourself.
I'm a guru in checking. I've become an endo myself. With all due respect to endocrinologists, I didn't mean that. But I've become a guru at knowing my sugar levels. So I would check and check and check. And then I found out that I didn't need to take my insulin shot
anymore.
Yes, now what my doctor prescribed was instead of the insulin shots, and I went on tablets.
Okay, tablets.
Yes.
Okay,
the Triviamet and gliclazide. Yes. But then, I guess it's just for precautionary
measures.
Yes, because it's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. When we come back from this break, you're going to tell us some more things which will be concluding this segment. This is still Testifiers time, and we're about drawing the curtains to this edition of the program. We have still in the studio Barrister Obi Okoye, who had got a very drastic testimony sharing with us. And I know that somebody has been encouraged somewhere watching this episode. All right, the doctors had told you your case is over. I mean, there is nothing that can be done about it. Here is a living testimony that God can bring. When we come back, I'll tell you what the senior pastor said. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this time.
Have you experienced it? Have you felt the presence of God? Have you seen the move of God?
You can't bend like that.
Take that step towards destiny transformation.
If you are feeling stagnated anywhere you are, you're not experiencing change,
this is a place for you to be. God is here.
I felt it. This is my second time. I will keep coming.
If you have never visited Dunamis International, you are missing a lot.
Worship with us this Sunday at the Glory Dome, Dunamis International Gospel Center, Airport Road, Abuja, Nigeria.
Come to Dunamis and hear the word of God. There's no way you worship here and there won't be a turnaround in your life.
I can testify of his wonders. I can testify of his mercies. I can testify of his blessings in abundance.
If you're still looking for where to find Christ, I tell you, Dunamis is a place to be.
Invite someone.
You can come here and go back the same. There's no dull moment. That's just the word.
That issue has just been settled.
Welcome back, viewers. Testifiers time, and we've had very exciting moments, mixture actually of them moods here in the studio. Sometimes Barrister Obi feels like shedding tears, some other times we're laughing, and some other times we're just all serious. But everything adds up. Wonderful testimony of God's visitation upon her life, and so far so good. She's made us understand how God visited her and terminated what the devil had meant unto destruction. Before we went on the break, ma'am, you were telling us how that you had to leave off the insulin and then tablets were prescribed. So are you still on those tablets? Or
I forget to take them.
You forget to take them.
And I check my blood sugar level.
Blood sugar is
normal.
normal. So
it's 100, between 100, sometimes it goes down to 90, between 100 and say 115.
And so what does that mean to you?
I'm healed.
Oh.
Totally.
Totally healed.
Yes, maybe I missed out something.
Okay.
Now after Daddy made that prayer for me,
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that experience of being shot in the dream.
Okay.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after he did that prayer, I almost had that same experience. But I'll tell you what happened. This time in the dream, I was standing in front of my apartment, and the car drove by, and two people, the same two people, I don't know who they are.
Two people, always two people.
Always two people. And then they brought out their guns to shoot, and I wanted to run. I wanted to like run to the house. And then I think I saw God, how we say it in church, God appeared to me with the face of
the senior pastor.
Yes, just by my side. And I heard the instruction, show no fear, don't run. So I stood. And then while I stood, they started shooting. But miraculously, they missed me. All the bullets missed me.
But were they pointed at you?
The car was directly, like when you're standing on the staircase, and then there's a car there, directly at me. But
so there was a spiritual field, force field, that diverted those bullets away from you.
Totally missed me. And then that person was still standing by my side while this was going on. And then when they had run out of their bullets, I heard the person say, very good, now send it back to sender.
You don't mean it?
Yes. I heard it very clearly. And then I said,
back to sender.
I found my voice. I said, I send it back to sender. I send everything back to sender. And then the whole dream changed.
Yes.
And suddenly I saw people like army people, real in camouflage and their kits, well kitted. And they came and arrested the two people. And I woke up.
Quarantined them.
So I missed to say that.
that was very profound anyway. And that was the victory that God granted you.
Yes.
The assault will not continue forever.
No, I've never seen it after that. Never.
Never. And when was that?
I really can't remember now, but I had moved to Abuja.
Yes, okay.
I think it must have been that 2019. I had moved to
220, 221.
Yes.
It's like 3 years now.
Yes.
3 years gone.
Yes. I'd totally moved to Abuja. The whole of 2018 was spent getting myself back to God and all that. So I think it must have been around that 2019 I had this encounter. Yes.
Yes, the Bible says, for with God all things are possible. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. It doesn't matter what the doctors had said. It doesn't even matter what you feel. Like you heard in her story, she had made up her mind to live with this. But God said no. And I remember vividly the day you shared that testimony, God's servant said that if God can raise the dead, then he can heal the living.
Heal anything.
There is nothing too dead under God that cannot be resurrected.
Yeah. I have brand new pancreas.
That's it. You have brand new pancreas. And type 2 diabetes, humiliated. Yeah. You want to encourage someone? Maybe someone battling the same condition. It's about watching you. Yeah. Someone battling with a terminal condition would watch this episode. Tell them something.
Well, I think all I would say is God never disappoints.
That's right.
But for God not to disappoint you, you have to hold on to him. There are no two ways about it. You can't have one leg in and one leg out and expect results.
Wow.
You have to. You know, they say you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But for me, I put all my eggs in this basket.
With God, it is safe.
You just have to throw yourself, like Jesus said to Peter, launch out into the deep. you just have to throw yourself in without looking back. You just have to like shut down everything you know. Everything, because sometimes it's your brain that stops you.
That's right.
Like I said, I'd made up my mind to live with type 2 diabetes. That was why even when I was receiving my healing, I didn't know. You just have to. And then I also want to say this. Some people get their healing instantaneously. Mine was a process. Sometimes God needs that process to get you to a certain point.
I heard from God's servant, he said, miracles are instant, but healing is a process.
Wow.
Sometimes it can take a little more time for God to perfect what he wants to do. And then if he decides to do that, there's what he wants to achieve. Maybe some level of faith that must be built, some level of absolute dependence in him that must be built. Total dependence on him that must be built. And there is something that he just wants you. So you don't give up on God.
No.
All right?
No.
If God asks you to leave the branch and hold the leaf, please do. The leaf will bear your weight.
I think
and that's faith.
There's no other option. Once you find, it's like the Bible says, when a woman finds a precious jewel, she sells everything she has. I sold everything I have. I mean, I gave up everything I know, or I thought that I knew. And that's what brought me to this place today.
It is either God or God.
Oh God.
I mean, it is either God or God. Yes, this is about the signs of the episode for today. We've been encouraged, we've been uplifted, we've been inspired by the testimony of our sister Obi. And if you're watching from home, please be encouraged. Let God be your all in all. We also want to thank God for the lives of our parents in the Lord, Dr. Paul, Dr. Becky and Enche, who have availed themselves, abandoned everything that they've got. He wrote a song. I mean, because I want to receive the song, I waste my life again and again. Sir, the life you wasted on God is worth it. And it's a reason why these testimonies are rolling.
I think, and I also want to add something.
Yes, please go ahead.
Like I said, I'm not new to kingdom business, but it takes you finding your prophet.
Wow.
It takes you finding the right connection. When I met Daddy and Mommy, I knew things would be different. I knew I'd come to the right place.
Rehoboth.
Yes.
Until our next edition, this is Testifier's Time. I remain your host and presenter, Adel Churchy. This program airs on Mondays 10 a.m., Wednesdays 10 a.m., and on Saturdays 5:30 p.m. Keep watching Dunamis TV. God bless you and remain rapturable. Thank you.